On Larry King Now, actor and comedian Danny Pudi.
Video games have come a long way. When I grew up, I would play Zelda and Tetris, but they've come a long way. I mean, you can get dropped into these worlds and be heroic and do all these amazing things. You can even just like chop pineapples for fun for a little bit.
Plus,
Community was the first time where I was able to be on a show that I loved and to really play a character that I had a chance to just explore all kinds of things every week, and that was just incredible.
all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Our guest today is actor and comedian Danny Pudi. Danny is best known for his work on the NBC series Community. He's also the voice of Huey in Disney's DuckTales Reboot alongside David Tennant and Ben Schwartz. It's going into its third season, by the way. Danny will next appear on Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet, which is out now on Apple TV+, and is another visit to this program. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, what is, strange title, Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
I'll tell you all about it. So Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet is a workplace comedy about the team behind the world's most popular video game, which is called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. And it's about the team that makes this video game. So I play the guy who is actually the money guy, the head of monetization, named Brad. So everyone hates me, but it's a really fun world to play in.
So it's all about exploring the world of video games.
Yeah, so video games are just a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we play this team. It's a fictional game, and we play this team that makes the game. And so it's about the developers and all the behind the scenes that goes into making this really creative enterprise. And
Is it a comedy?
it's a comedy, yeah, it's a workplace comedy.
What makes video games, what makes them? Why are people fascinated by them?
So much. I mean, video games have come a long way. When I grew up, I would play Zelda and Tetris and...
Zelda?
Do you remember Zelda?
No.
Oh, it's so good!
I don't know my video games. My kids do. I don't know.
Oh, it's fantastic. But they've come a long way. I mean, you can get dropped into these worlds and be heroic and do all these amazing things. You can even just like chop pineapples for fun for a little bit, search for coins, fall in love, battle. You know, you can do all kinds
What
of
does
things.
Raven's Banquet mean?
That's the name of this specific game that we are creating called Mythic Quest, and it's this new update to this game. And so a lot of these games now are launched, and they're not launched just once. They keep getting relaunched, and all these new things are added to the game.
Are you an expert at this?
No.
Have you a vast interest in this?
I do really like video games.
Why?
I played them a lot when I was a kid, and now I'm playing them a lot with my son, so it's kind of fun. We play Clash of Clans. And
What is the attraction?
I think the attraction is that they're limitless. There's these worlds that you can kind of live in and do all kinds of things. I think there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's always like a nice objective. There's like a mission you could jump in, and there's also a social aspect to it. So you can play with friends around the world now, which is pretty amazing. We could jump on at the same time, and I could be playing with my friends in India or Poland or whoever.
Friends that you know or strangers?
Both, but they can become your friends.
I interviewed the YouTube star, Mark Plyer.
Okay.
I still don't understand how people get paid to play video games.
Yeah,
Is it a talent?
it is a talent. I mean, it's a skill. I'm not really good at video games. I like to play them, but like some people definitely are like highly skilled. And
And how
there's
they
whole
make
leagues.
money.
Yeah, there's whole leagues where people watch it. I mean,
So who pays them?
all kinds of people. It gets sponsorships. It's just a huge business, and online people like to follow them. So if you go to a lot of these people's pages, there's whole groups of people that are watching them just being like, oh, wow. It's fun to watch. People watch other people play video games.
Who invented Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet? Who's credited with that?
So it's co-created. Rob McElhaney, Megan Gans,
They
Charlie
did Sunny
Day.
in Philadelphia,
That's right, yeah. Amazing group of people, awesome writers, great cast. Rob's actually in the show as well. And he plays a character named Ian, who is the creator in the world of the game.
You worked on a great show, Community.
Loved it, yes.
Now, what is that, streaming now?
It's streaming, yeah, so you can find it on Hulu. Yeah.
I mean, explain. I know what streaming means. It means you can find it anytime,
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you stream? Or is the act of watching streaming?
It is. I think streaming is any of these services like Apple that you can watch these shows through the internet, right? And I think it's a different time of television now where you sometimes don't even necessarily know where shows exist, and also shows have a second, a third life. People are telling me right now they're just finding community, and I think people are hopefully going to be excited about Mythic Quest and how they find it. It's on Apple TV, like I said.
How does it help you, the actor?
Well, I think it's a cool time because things just exist now, and you don't know when they were made, so everything is alive now. It's not like shows are just buried. Shows can come back, and come back again and again, and all our shows, all our episodes for Mythic Quest will be available at one time. So on February 7th, all the episodes will be available to binge, so you can just watch them all right away, which is kind of fun.
All this is due to technological changes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Where do you think we're going with this? What's the next step?
I think something in our minds.
I was thinking the same thing.
Right?
You don't have to turn on the set.
It's just there.
You program it.
Yeah.
Well, you get up in the morning and program it.
And then you just go beep, boop, bleep, bloop, and then while someone's talking to you, you're literally just watching your favorite show.
You can't drive.
You can't drive, no. I mean, you get a self-driving car, then you just watch whatever you want, but then it's gonna eliminate this right here, like...
Yeah, I get it. Well, so what? I'm 86. What is still fun, Danny? What is still fun? Are you an actor who's funny or a funny guy who acts?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I love acting. I love jumping into a character, playing different people. I love watching people. That's still fun for me. I like anything awkward. I like anything strange. I like things that are very specific. That's fun for me. I like watching people fall down and get back up.
Tragedy is when I cut my finger. Funny is when you fall down a manhole. When we come back, Danny Pudi on growing up in Chicago and getting his big break on Community. Make sure to see him on the Apple TV Plus comedy Mythic Quest Ravens Banquet. We'll be right back. Danny Pudi's our guest. You can see him now on Apple TV, Ravens Banquet, the Mythic Quest Ravens Banquet. You can see all the shows February 7th. And February 14th, you can see next year's.
No promises.
No promises.
Yeah.
Now, you grew up with a Polish mother
Yep.
and a Polish grandmother. You spoke Polish in the house, right?
Naprawdę, tak. Oczywiście.
Your father is Indian.
Yes, that's correct.
From India?
From India, Andhra Pradesh, Janur.
How many Polish Indian kids that you knew in Chicago?
So far, one.
Yes, it is strange.
It's a very strange combination.
How did it affect your life growing up?
I think that's probably why I'm here right now, talking it out. It was interesting because my earliest memories were being on stage. My mother made me Polish dance, and there was always that quote, like, dance like nobody's watching, but that never made sense because everyone was always watching me. And at the time, I didn't know any better. I just grew up in a very loving, warm house.
Only child?
Brother and a sister, so all of us were kind of going through the same thing, figuring it out. But as soon as we stepped outside, it was very clear that we weren't like other families, when people would be like, why are you speaking Polish, but you look like you shouldn't be speaking Polish? So I think that kind of led to me going into comedy, storytelling.
Were you a funny kid?
Yeah, before I knew why, I think people were always just like, oh, you're Pudi, what's going on with you? And they would constantly be questioning me or asking me where I'm from, and I think as a way of sort of deflecting, but also just being like on stage all the time. I think I learned the value of comedy.
You were the first ever Chris Farley Scholarship winner at Marquette University, right?
That's right.
What an honor.
It was amazing. I mean, he was a hero of mine.
I knew him, and poof, what a tragedy.
Yeah, so sad.
What was Marquette like?
It was incredible. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I had to get a degree. My family encouraged college all the time, and so I grew up in Chicago, and I was always very aware of Marquette. I was a huge basketball fan, so Al McGuire and the basketball teams there, it was something I was aware of. And And when I went there, I really kind of had a chance to act for the first time. I was doing musicals, I was doing comedy, and that's where I had my chance to figure out that that's what I wanted to do.
You did a lot of improv.
Yes.
Why is Chicago, a second city started there?
Yeah.
Why is it famous for improv? What do they do in Chicago? They don't do improv in Milwaukee?
They do improv in Milwaukee. Improv now is everywhere, but I think Chicago, it's just part of the water. It's a funny place. I think people are just smushed together because of the weather and the proximity of the city and everything, and forced to find funny. And I think it's magical there.
What makes a good improv comedian?
Ooh.
Not the same as stand-up.
No, it's different. I think people who find comfort in being part of ensembles, people who like bouncing ideas off each other and then looking for the best idea, that is always really helpful. There's a whole thing called yes and within the improv community, and it's just like, let's just start with this brick and just keep building and building. And
is it easier when there are 4 than when there are 2?
it depends on who the 4 are. I think it's easier anytime you've worked with a lot of people together. You get a sense for each other's style, and you can listen to each other.
Ever go back to doing it?
Sometimes, it's one of those things though. Like when I watch people like there's these great improvisers, TJ and Dave in Chicago, and they're legendary, and they're just so skilled at it, and they're incredible listeners. It's a skill that requires a lot of time and effort.
We recently had Yvette Nicole Brown.
She's the best.
On the show, and she talked how close you are, keeping in touch and community and everything.
Yeah.
You still keep in touch with other co-stars?
We do, yeah. We email, we text each other. We just did our 10-year reunion this past year.
She said she'd be open to returning.
I would too. I've said it here, Larry.
Was Community a big break?
It was. I did some commercials before that. I did a commercial where I sat on my cell phone and I was known as the butt dialer. So that was really fun. But Community was the first time where I was able to be on a show that I loved and to really play a character that I had a chance to just explore all kinds of things every week, and that was just incredible.
You keep in touch with Danny Glover?
With Donald, I do. Yeah, we actually
sorry.
just saw each other. No problem. We just saw each other this last year after our 10-year reunion. So it's been cool to watch him grow.
And you were a dancer too?
Yes.
What warned you? I mean, you did so many things. What didn't you do?
I didn't paint. I'm a really terrible artist. Sometimes my kids will ask me to draw things for them, and my trees don't look like trees. They
Have
look
you
like
done
people.
any work seriously, like drama?
Yes, I've been doing a little bit more of like independent film and some stage work, and I love it. So I'm hoping to do actually more of that this year and in the future. I love being on stage, and I love different characters.
Have you always worked?
I started working in 3rd grade. My first job was a hot dog stand assistant. I've always enjoyed working. I really like the process of creating.
No, but as an adult, in a
an
world where people don't get a lot of work.
I wouldn't say so. It took me a while to kind of find jobs. I think one of the things that I did do, though, is I always had a backup job. So even when I moved to Los Angeles, I worked full-time as an actuarial recruiter.
Actuarial recruiter, what is that?
Yes. So actuaries assess risk for insurance companies. They determine how much
I know
you pay.
that,
Yeah,
but
yeah. And so the company I worked for actually found actuaries for other companies. So government
recruited
agencies.
actuaries?
I did, yes. I would call them every day. I'd go to actuarial conferences.
Doesn't sound funny.
It was funny in very different ways, I really enjoyed it, though. It was a chance for me to sort of access this other part of my brain. I liked it.
After the break, Danny Pudi is back with us for a round of If You Only Knew. Stay right there. It's next.
Nice.
We're back with Danny Pudi. You can see him on Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet. DuckTales is coming back for season 3.
Yeah.
Last time you were on, we talked about that. What's the response been like?
The response has been great. My children so far, but they're warming up to it. No, I'm kidding. People really love it. I am such a fan of the original show and our version of the show because I think it's new. It has awesome characters, great voices.
What's your voice?
I play Hubert Duck, the oldest of the triplets. Hey!
That's Hubert's voice?
Sort of. They're constantly asking me to be younger. So I have to take some lozenges, and I have to do a lot of vocal
What is it like to voice? Are you seeing it when you say it?
Sometimes we go and see. Usually we go in and we just do the voices, and then the animation comes in.
Because I was in Shrek 2, 3, and 4, and they did the voices first, and they did the rest in Korea, I think.
Oh yeah, the animation.
Yeah.
Yeah. The animation. Then it comes back, and then you get a chance to see it, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense now. And then sometimes you have to redo your voice based on the new animation. The animation's incredible, by the way. It's a dream job. It's a place where I can go and scream, and that's super valuable.
And you grew up with a character?
I grew up watching the show for sure.
Yeah, you did. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, Disney Afternoon. I would come home, and me, my brother, and my sister, we would stop fighting, watch the shows, then start fighting again.
Who knew you would be Huey?
Probably my mom, maybe. That's probably about it.
Okay, we play a little game of If You Only Knew.
Oh, okay.
What was your first car?
My first car was a Chevy station wagon. It was yellow. We called it the banana wagon.
Yellow?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a yellow. Anyway, funniest or strangest fan encounter?
Okay, so I guess I have two. One, I was in a bathroom, and a man said, "Oh, man," at the urinal, and then he wanted to shake my hand, and I said, I don't know, and he goes, "It's cool, I haven't touched my penis yet." The second one was I was buying diarrhea medicine, and I was pretending I didn't have diarrhea.
Okay, favorite movie?
Probably Raiders of the Lost Ark or Before Sunset. I don't know.
Who's your childhood hero?
Ooh, childhood hero? Oh, let's see here. Janet Jackson, Michael Jordan.
Not bad, you're in Chicago.
Chicago, I was trying to think of like those.
What's the biggest risk you ever took?
The biggest risk I ever took, let's see here, was probably going into acting. I think every day is, why am I doing this?
Did you come out here cold?
I came out here, I came out here, moved with my wife. Thankfully, she believed in me, and and just went for it. So it took a little while, but it's something I really wanted to do.
What's the most recent show you binge watched?
Succession.
Proudest accomplishment?
Proudest accomplishment? My kids, James and Fiona. They're pretty incredible.
What are the names?
James and Fiona.
Best advice you ever got?
Gdzie człowiek spieszy, tam się diabeł czeszy. I don't know, that's one. Whatever you do is another one. That one's in Polish. That means like wherever you hurry, that's where the devil exists. I don't know why it's the best advice, but like slow down is part of this idea.
What was the worst advice?
The worst advice I've ever...
Don't go into show business.
Worst advice I've ever is that you're going to be good at skiing.
Something people would be surprised to learn about you.
I like to Polish rap.
Like what?
I like to Polish rap.
Post-rap?
Polish rap. Do you want me to Polish rap?
No. What is Polish rap?
It's rapping in Polish.
Let me hear it.
All right. Daniel, drugie imię, Mark. Kim jestem? Brązowy ptak. Lubię latać, biegać i lubię spać 8 godzin. Skąd jestem? Z Warszawy i Rajamundry.
Is it a fun language to speak? Well, you wouldn't know any different.
It's hard. It's good for vocal warm-ups. Like, let's see here. Łaskotek na płotek i mruga. It's good to kind of get the juices flowing.
Does your father understand it?
No, my father spoke Telugu, which I never learned, unfortunately. And so I grew up speaking Polish, and now it's super valuable because I get to Polish rap with Larry King.
Hey, something people would be surprised to learn about you.
That I love running. I've run a lot of marathons.
So, really? 26 miles?
26.2, yeah.
Something we should be paying more attention to.
The earth. And each other. I don't know. Yeah.
What keeps you up at night?
My kids' questions.
A show you're binging right now.
Let's see here. Well, I just finished Succession. I'm trying to think of like what's going to be the next one. I don't know. There's a lot. I got to figure that out. Oh, morning show.
Yeah, I hear it's terrific. Huh?
It's good. Yeah.
A luxury you can't live without.
A luxury I can't live without. Coffee. I really like good
It's not
coffee.
a luxury. You can get it anywhere.
I guess, yeah, I like good coffee.
I love coffee too.
I like nice socks.
Socks. Your socks, would you put in your shoes?
Yeah, I really love them. I like kind of like, cozy feet.
You're attracted to your socks.
I'm attracted to really nice running socks. Like, I'm always looking for good running socks.
That's not a luxury, though. Coffee and socks are not a luxury.
All right, give me a luxury. What luxury should I have?
Private plane.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales and Mythic Quest. There's no private planes for me.
Favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero? Probably Batman.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Because he didn't fly.
He's got this humanity to him, right?
Yeah.
He's like you and I, He struggles with
the
allergies.
dark side.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, money.
Oh, money, evil, right? And then like cool gadgets. I like cool gadgets. He was a techie.
Did you see Joker?
Loved it. Joaquin Phoenix was incredible.
Incredible. It's incredible.
Oh.
I'll tell you a fact about Joker. I realized after seeing it.
Tell me.
You talk about mayhem and violence.
Yes.
He killed 6 people in that whole movie, all of whom you were glad to see die.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's the idea, is everyone thinks that it's more violent than it is. It's just scary. It's not violent. It's
Not violent.
No.
And he's unbelievable.
And also, there's not a huge set piece. Like, I think it was towards the end, it was the first time where I saw an explosion of any kind. So
Yeah.
it was a character piece that I thought was really well done.
Someone or something that inspires you.
My family, definitely my mom. Every day, her energy. She wakes up every day and she's constantly gardening, fixing.
Where does she live?
She lives in Chicago.
And what's a superpower you wish you had?
I wish I could speak every language, and I wish I could do backflips.
Backflips.
Yeah, that'd be just valuable.
In our final segment, Danny Pudi will answer some of your social media questions. You'll see him in the new Apple TV Plus comedy, Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
On Apple Plus, you can see Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet. One of its stars is Danny Pudi. Before we get a few social media questions, give me a typical day for you. You wake up, what? Give me a day.
Typical day, we get breakfast ready for our kids.
How old are they?
I have twin 8-year-olds.
Boy and a girl?
A boy and a girl, James and Fiona. They're awesome. We get them breakfast, we get them out the door, and then I go exercise. Usually I go run, typically outside somewhere, shake off the day. And then if I'm going to set, I have to learn some lines, and then I come home and we read a story with the kids, and I try to be in bed by 10 o'clock, 10:15, lights out. I need my Z's.
Well, you do sleep early then.
Yeah, if I can, yeah.
Well, are twin boys and girls alike personality-wise?
No, our kids are very different, but it's cool. It's cool to watch their interests and be like, okay, one person really loves Candyland and one person really loves Uno.
Do they get along with each other?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. How do you like to relax?
I love a good meal, and I like spending time with my wife. I like traveling. I love to travel and see new things. I like going for a walk in new cities.
You have a favorite Polish dish?
Oh, for sure. My favorite dish is pierogi, which I think you've probably had.
I know that dish.
Pierogi with sauerkraut and mushroom. Kapusta grzybami. It's the best.
What about an Indian dish?
Ooh, any kind of curry is delicious. I love a good dosa. Dosa with some idli.
You know what's great? Indian bread.
Oh, yes.
Indian bread is.
You got to get some good butter naan. It's that good ghee. It's the ghee. Ooh, it's good.
We have a couple of social media questions. Austin Kelly on Facebook. Do you actually play video games?
I do play some. Like I said, I'm playing Clash of Clans right now with my son. I'm playing another game called Mutazione on Apple Arcade, which I really enjoy. I'm not an expert. When I was a kid, like I said, I fell in love with Zelda, like jumping into this world and just wanting to be in Hyrule. It was super fun.
Molly Cutie on Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you want to branch out and be in movies, produce, write screenplays?
I do. I'm writing right now a story based on my life and growing up half Polish and half Indian and feeling displaced in some ways and also trying to connect with all these people. Ideally, I think I would like to get into a little bit more the dramatic space too.
Want to do a play?
Yes, definitely. I love being on stage. So
What's next? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
I don't know. I think that's kind of where I see growth for sure for me. I enjoy creating in any aspect. So I think maybe writing, and definitely I see myself doing more dramatic roles. I think that'd be fun for me, a good way to challenge myself.
You a sports fan?
Love sports, love basketball.
Chicago Bulls?
Bulls, they're having a rough time right now, but I'm a huge Bulls fan.
Cubs?
White Sox.
South Side.
South Side. White Sox are looking good next year. Don't sleep on the Sox.
There's one of the White Sox pitchers who unveiled the Houston Astros scandal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot his name. Not a major pitcher.
So far, the White Sox have stayed clear out of that, which is
Threw
nice.
a curveball that a guy hit for a foul ball, and he called his catcher out and said, he knew what I was going to
He knew it was coming. Did they hear like a garbage can or
They were
something?
playing Houston. What?
Did they hear the garbage cans or something?
So, I don't know. He just said it was the pitch,
And he knew.
the way he attracted to the pitch, and he knew it was coming. And
see-
then, of course, the guy in the A's, Fears, he broke the whole thing.
See, I love baseball because there's so many adjustments. Pitch to pitch, pitch to pitch.
Athletic chess.
Yeah, it's every game. And there's all these little adjustments in the field, too. People moving over a couple steps over here.
Are you for the Bears?
Yes, yes. I'm a Chicago sports fan, so
Blackhawks.
yes, all of them. When they win, I feel excited. When they lose, I feel sad.
It's amazing what sports is so unimportantly important.
Yeah, it's a way to, it's a place to put your passions, too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
It's a place where you could put all your emotions, so.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it.
Big thanks to my guest, Danny Pudi. Make sure to see him in the new comedy on Apple TV Plus, called Mythic Quest Ravens Banquet. It's streaming now, and as always, you can find me on Twitter at Kings Things, and I'll see you next time.